It's the correct map this time, so they can drop along the terrain if they need to. Let me zoom out a little bit. The top right, we have our reigning king. He's won 3 games in a row with a mild controversy. He is Momo. Then at 6 o'clock, he was unable to get our game or this map downloaded for like 10 minutes, but we got it. He's our yellow Terran, only fastest map. And I guess he plays with Q lol Q, which I think was probably me losing to them a couple times the other day. So actually doesn't really say anything about him because I lose to everybody, so it's fine. But we don't have to try to cast a PvP this time, which there is pros and cons to that because, well, really the only thing that's different is Momo tends to be a lot more aggressive, at least in the last series that we had, essentially a best of 3, as weird as it was, where he gets aggressive versus another Protoss, but then versus Terran, because didn't he do this against Cross as well, where he went Nexus first, and he's about to go Nexus first again.
Yeah, I think that's a great play against Terran. Really, unless the Terran opts for an extremely aggressive, say for instance, forward racks, which would almost always be easily countered by just gateways. I think the Nexus first is almost unpunishable.
Yeah.
With the fact that choke cannons at a choke would pretty much always deter bio. And then you're able to get your tech up so quickly to the point where you can, threaten the whether it be the drop, the DTs, the mass gateway push, whatever it may be.
Mm-hmm. It's a little bit of lost minerals right there. Having to cancel his gateway, but it's not the end of the world. And I hear you. He has to find him first. Even if he puts his barracks in the middle of the map to attack him, he still has to find him. And unless you're extremely lucky, which is uncommon, especially in a tournament setting, you're probably not going to find him in time to get any real damage to punish it, at least. Unfortunately for Only Fastest, he's still kind of in a center position. I would say 12 and 6 are my least favorite positions, which I'm sure they're everyone's least favorite positions to ever spawn in, just because you're so exposed on all sides. It's just, and when you play fastest, at least 3v3 on the Korean map, you don't ever spawn at 12 and 6. So even the amount of practice you get there is very little. So Momo does finally get to scout where Only Fastest spawned, and I wonder if this probe's going to get out. I think it will. It's going back towards the middle of the map. Wow. Only Fastest is being really aggressive about getting this probe. I think he might get it. Nah, he's too tricky. Way too tricky. Especially when these
Yeah, I mean, this is a great. Yeah, this is perfectly fine. You're sort of establishing that there's no, weird buildings on the map, and you're making sure that that probe can't potentially do anything else really, like build around, like build robotics facilities right next to you. I think we saw that in our last Battle of the Beehive with GG, Easy, and the Walt, where Easy was able to actually sniff it out with, putting the Marines all over the map. So
Yeah.
I think it's a great play. Keeps Momo in his base in the dark. But let's see how he transitions out of it. He has to figure that it is a robotics support or robotics facility play. With the cannon at choke, just naturally, I mean, that's what most Protosses will do after choking their cannon is go for that double nexus. Oh,
Well,
mistake.
well, and I don't think he got far enough in. Maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think he got far enough in to even see the cannons. I think he was just zoning the middle of the map, kind of going for that map control. Maybe he's watched enough of the games today where he kind of knows, or at least has an idea of what Momo's going for. But if he doesn't, or if he doesn't have a ton of 1v1 experience, then he might just be completely in the dark. Which is not the end of the world. He does have a turret up, and he does have the opportunity to build a comsat station if he needs. He's not building a turret at his entrance, which is kind of funny. That's also something that you want. And I wonder if that first turret is a good spot to place it. I know it kind of does give it a wide berth, but usually shuttles, when they come in, the first ones are always at the bottom. It's not even really a nitpick, it's just an observation. He's got to have a reason for putting it there, so I just wonder.
Yeah, I think if maybe he's banking on the shuttle sort of flying from the top all the way down and climbing the wall. But I think really the main purpose that serves is just to have like a gas to funnel through in case he needs to dodge the drops.
Yeah, that's a good point too. He
We're
didn't.
seeing virtually a similar build as to what Cross went, except he cross opted for a 5x um, and a faster start port. Uh, in this case, however, we're seeing 4x, no start port yet. And Momo is also going for reverse as opposed to the DT initially, um, compared to the cross game. I think that should be a little bit easier to defend for OnlyFastestMap, based on just his turret ring right now. And um, nope, there goes his fit for Axe. So
Well, not being so close, I think also helps.
definitely,
Since
right.
it does take a little bit more time, he can't just load up and full send, load up, full send. He does have like some traveling time. That's beneficial. I was wondering when he was going to build his comsat station. I was hoping he was going to build it a little bit sooner, just so he could go for the scan, because he really doesn't know what Momo is going for. Like, yes, if he did watch the cross game, he would have an idea. Okay, how many cannons is this? I just got to make sure. My own little OCD. One. Okay. Oh wait, but it doesn't matter because it's TVP. Oh my gosh, I got myself all in a tizzy. I got myself all in a dizzy. All right, so um, it
Right,
was
he
just like,
scanned the gateway.
is that where the scan
So he
went
scanned the
down?
gateway counts, yeah, and then I think rather than just opting for a pressure play, Momo may be just looking to bust, or you have the options with reavers. You can threaten the bust at the choke, or eventually just fly your way down. But
True.
I think sort of having revealed it now, I'm gonna refer to him as Mage. I think Mage will be just much more cognizant that the drop is coming now, um, considering he revealed it.
Yeah. That, I mean, and again, that's one of the strongest tools that Protoss has. So that's why the turrets are going up. Like, it's going to happen, but now like this is perfect. He's got Marines going back just because now this is the time. The time of him feeling safe in his own base is over, because there's
Mhm.
just going to be nonstop drops and harassment. And if he's on top of it, he can stem the shuttles in, like shuttles down before they get in. But when he's got like three like this, it's going to be tough. And he might do what he did before, which is try to bait the attention at the front of the base while he goes off to the side to get his drops in. And he's got some defenses, but three shuttles full is a lot. So I
Yeah, and
wonder.
he's actually going to be opting for a stronger drop play after this with 4 box facility coming up.
Okay, he's got to target the Reavers. Oh, there goes the first set of Marines.
Uh,
Oh my gosh. The SCVs have ran, but man, these are so efficient. Okay. Really? It's the start of many. And for some reason, only 2 shuttles went in, not the third. But that was okay for the Terran. Oh, he's got another drop. What's he going to do? Target it. Oh, he's going to get it.
oh
The
no!
humanity. He saved like
Oh.
12. That's
But
why
you
he
were
didn't
wondering
send it.
why Momo didn't go in with that third is because those 2 initial shuttles wanted to get rid of the turrets, give him that sense of security that everything was over, and then come in with that third. Great play by Momo. Just normally, right, you would expect that you would just throw in all of your shuttles all at once, but he played it patient, waited for his opening and actually then went in. That was great. Great
Yeah.
play.
And this probably isn't the case, but usually if I don't go in with the drop, it's because Storm hasn't finished yet. I'm sure Storm was ready, but that was also just another funny thought that I had. I was like, I wonder if Storm just wasn't ready, but what you said makes way more sense. Break down the defenses, make Terran think that Reavers were the drop, and that's it. And then
Hmm.
follow up to get all of his SCVs, and it totally worked. And now the real scary drop happens. So he's got to, like, he's partially targeted these down, but I don't think he's even. Okay, he did pull his SCVs. That was really good. Just all zealots. He did this versus Cross too, where you go in first with that AoE, and then afterwards you just go in with pure just ground army. And now I'm sure this next shuttle drop that's coming in is going to have, it's like every other, right? Every other will have Reavers and Storm. I do still think that, again, the distance is being very helpful for only fastest, but this is going to get pretty crazy again.
So right now, I think what Momo is doing is playing the long game. He's forcing fastest map to constant or mage to constantly pull, and you'll notice his mineral count is absurdly low. And with the
Mm-hmm.
SCVs constantly having to run out, run back in, they're having to face or try to find that new mineral patch. So it's taking much longer for those SCVs to actually saturate properly. And
Right.
he has to recover the marine count, right? Otherwise, he's just not gonna be able to defend it. And in doing so, keeps the tank count down. While you'll notice Momo is just constantly expanding with his gateway, with his now like tech with the Stargate. So um,
Yeah.
I think he's slowly opening up the can that will be the finishing blow with the Reavers and the Storms. And oh,
Kind
great
of.
Storm, great Reaver.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know how many kills the Reaver got, but it seemed like the Storm whiffed just a little bit. But I do
Hmm.
agree with you. He's up 40 supply. Just a second ago, he's up 50 supply. And yeah, only fastest. He's just kept on. Whoa, 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 whoa. What are you doing? Okay. Again, just another drop. And it really is just keeping. Sorry, what's his actual gamer tag? I was gonna say only fastest
Mage.
mage.
Mm-hmm.
So he is keeping mage just off of higher tech. He is keeping it at home. Oh my gosh, this storm could be really
Let's see
bad.
the
Oh,
storm. Oh, even if he doesn't get the SCVs at this point, he is forcing those units basically. And now, if he really wanted to, I'm sure he could come in with 5 shuttles with nothing but zealots and potentially really outright kill him. I
dude.
think we're gonna see Momo still sort of take it easy and just go for the AOE. But
Right.
I'm sure eventually we'll see him just go for the sort of the mass zealots to go for the kill.
Dude, even again, these drops are just so relentless, non-stop. And not only that, but he has to kind of separate his SCVs as well. He can't send them all to the same spot. He's like, just like, what a workout for Terran. Zealots that drop
Right.
are clearing all the turrets. And
And now we're noticing there's no turrets right on the right hand side, and
yep,
Mage can't afford it almost. So
that's where he goes.
eventually he sort of has free reign. And let's see if there's any. Oh, great catch on the storm. Is that High Templar gonna storm? No? Okay. But it forces a pull, which is already a sort of a win.
Look
There's
at
a
this.
shuttle down there. Mhm.
There's three. There's three shuttles. I doubt. I think only one of them had any units in it, and they might have even. It might have just been empty as well. Might have unloaded. But you're right. For like, Momo is almost maxed back at home. He's got a ton of shuttles. He's only sending a few out at a time. He's gonna have this massive drop, getting at least 2 upgrades. It's kind of funny all this long distance gas mining that he's got going on, but yeah, man, it's looking pretty intense. Like you said, he's gonna break down the front of the base. He does have a lot of units. Oh, I guess just a few, but
Oh
it's
wow,
this
great
big
play.
drop.
He forces the bait on the choke, makes the Marine sort of slightly hesitate and go upward, and he comes in with the drop in the main.
He's kind of missing some opportunities here. That he could have gotten all those SCVs, and I wouldn't say it was like a huge mistake, but that was their supplies are nearly equal now. After that engagement, you're right. It was super smart to get him to pull away, but he lost a lot there, and he got very little. He's still in a great spot. Don't get me wrong. Like he's still very far ahead, but that wasn't the engagement that he needed. He lost a lot of stuff there. Oh my gosh, he just needs to do that like 2 or 3
Right.
more times. There's another storm though. He
Oh,
might be
let's
able to
see
get
the
it off.
storm.
Decent.
The one great thing right now that we can say about Terran, and not to say he's playing badly, is that he really hasn't faced major SCV losses. Granted, Momo isn't letting him get stable, but
Just giving away those shuttles.
if he's able to just really throw the Marines all over the map and um, eventually just take down the High Templars as they drop, um, he'll eventually be able to stabilize and potentially push out. Now, will
Good
Momo let him
scans.
do that? Would be the really good question. I mean, he has now a bunch of Reavers that could actually just wipe out, you know, a 12 Marines just off of one hit, even if it dies as soon as it drops. But um, I think with Mage having really not lost any SCVs, he's in a great spot.
Yeah, I agree with that. He is getting close to max, and he's at a supply that is very scary. Another thing that he has to be careful of is his siege tanks killing his own SCVs as they try to run away, because I saw there's a little bit of splash damage going on. He actually is starting to have a little bit better vision, but I mean, there's going to be a bust at the front, a big old drop at the back. Oh my gosh, he could storm, and he's got reavers. What's going on? Where is he? Where is he? He said, oh, that wasn't okay. So he's trying to break the front, and I don't think he's going to break the front, actually. And if I was Mage, I would go. This is your, I mean, he doesn't get to see what we see, but he's on parity with supply. He's held 100 of these drops. I'd leave a good squad or two at home, maybe just one squad. Look at that. Protoss just opened up the front door for you. I think, like, if you want to wait for 25 more supply, you're welcome to, but he's going to get supply block too. I mean, how flustered, like, does it feel to be his Terran to be constantly dropped like this? So even if he is... Oh,
Great snipe
you.
on the shuttles right there. Granted,
Ooh.
he is, yeah. So normally what would happen is Protoss just constantly whittles away with you, and you're forced to address the fact that you lose turrets, you lose your depots in the choke, and you have to constantly run your SCVs. Fastest map or Mage, however, has been doing a great job just you know taking it slow and just slowly building back what he loses. So
Yeah.
he's not panicking. And I think it would sort of be a bad idea to move out right now. You do want to still stabilize
Yeah, that's a good
back at
point.
home, so that way, yeah, if they counter drop, you're still not dead while you're pushing out. So I think he's taking a great play right now, just taking it slow, potentially getting 3-2 for your upgrades, so that your tanks are even more effective. So Momo sort of is actually on a timer now, where he may have to opt for carriers, or
Right.
really have a devastating drop.
Which he is going to work towards is carriers. So he does have a plan past this, and he's got money to fund it too. I don't think we've seen a Terran in this game even have a bank, but you are right, and I think he probably will just keep slowly transitioning into mech anyway. It's just about getting there, and he's done a really great job at rebuilding a lot of these turret lines as well, as he's had money for it. Like, he's got plenty of money now. Oh my gosh, the follow-up drop. I hope he's
Here
taking
comes
this
the second
seriously.
drop.
Ay, ay, ay.
Oh, are there a Reaver? Is there any Reavers, or is there any High Templars? Here's a High Templar. Can it get the storm off?
It did get it got a
Oh,
few. It got a.
but the
Go ahead.
nice, juicy, meaty SCVs survive it.
That's true. It's true. And again, it's Terran is up in supply. This doesn't usually happen. That one it'd be crazy if that
Mhm.
shuttle in the back had like one or two zealots, because you could just drop it right on top of those SCVs and they would all be gone. But at least he's got free vision. There is a point where you do start to give away. All right, now he's deciding to move out. So he's compromised with what both of us said, where I said go right now, and then you said don't go. He's like, I'll just wait for one more big drop and then I'll go. He's left a lot of siege tanks and a lot of Marines, and this is a very scary, dangerous push at the front of his base, but he does have to be ready. He is. Okay, so he's watching. He just has to. I hope he can, like, he doesn't have an EMP right there, but he might on this other
Is there any
side's vessel.
Reavers? Oh no, there's no Reavers right now. There's no immediate impact, and I don't think these drops are actually dropping accordingly. And he's getting busted down in the
No.
choke. I think this may be the beginning of the end, unless he's able to somehow get Reavers out and drop on top of the tanks. He has such great defense, and right now Mage could potentially unsiege all of his tanks back at home and come, because Protoss has to defend.
Yep.
He's
It's.
gonna have to sort of.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
He's gonna have to sort of rely on sort of the scumbag way. I think he's making. I wonder if he's making scouts right now or carriers, because he needs units right now, and carriers may take too long unless he's actually planning on delaying until carriers can potentially come out.
Right. Like, Mage really does need to move fast, but this is the most he's got. Okay, he finally has a medic, which I was just thinking, like, he didn't have any medics, so every stim really does hurt. And this, just to build off of what you were saying, this is his chance to really pounce on Protoss. And if he does give Protoss too much time, he could have, what is this, like seven-ish carriers out of nowhere, and that can
He's just
potentially
scouted
kill
it.
all this. Did he
He just
scan it?
scanned it. I wonder if he's gonna unsiege some of his tanks and just send them over there. But yeah, right now we're seeing Momo delay for as long as he possibly could with all these cannons, which is a right play. You're not really dead until your minerals are gone, right?
Right, and he's got a lot of minerals. I mean, he could do the... Oh, I missed a storm. Actually, I got back just in time. So he could do the Protoss thing and start expanding around the map and just really drag this out while he builds up his carrier fleet to go attack. But it's not a low money map. Like, Terran would be able to respond to it eventually. This is an amazing push. He weathered the storm. I should say, a many storms. And I wonder if these shuttles have anything in them or if he's just trying to free up supply. I do think it's two things. What you said was very true, which is if Terran moves out, Protoss can drop your main, and then if they hold your attack, then that's it. Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
here comes the tanks getting ever so close to the mineral line.
Yeah.
And as soon as they get there, we're gonna see the beginning of the end. The carriers are done, but he's supply blocked. So we're probably not gonna see any more. And with all these Marines, I don't know exactly how effective the interceptors will be.
I think it's going to be a two. He's got like a two-prong attack that he can try to hold with, which is drop at the same time that you... Never mind. Okay, I was going to say try to just drop while you... Oh my gosh, this Nexus is not long for this world. Terran's a little bit slow to respond, but I know he's got a lot going on, so there's like no judgments there. I think he's done it. Like, I have thought that he's done it for the past few minutes, but you really never know because there's like some Protoss magic you can kind of will out. I think now's the time to pull back and rebuild your interceptors. Attacking with a couple interceptors popping out at a time isn't going to do it for you. He's not supply blocked anymore. He technically is, but he's not in the red anymore. Dude, Terran's maxed. He's at your main. He is starting to build some pylons where his carriers are at, but like, dude, he set up shop, dude.
Terran is solidifying his win, and I think we're gonna see him eventually tap out with his Nexus down. No more probes. Turrets are almost, it's gonna take forever to break through in his main, and you're seeing Wraith transition with no box facility. I think we're seeing a new king about to come up. And we're seeing a Nexus at 12, so Momo is willing to fight through this, which I am all for because it's not like he doesn't have the money to fight through. However, I don't see his carriers lasting, a long time with these Wraiths coming up.
Right, and that's why I was giggling, because I was going to say he's doing it. He's going for a Nexus, but what he should have done is built the Nexus. Oh no, he's going to lose that probe. He should have built the Nexus and then ran that probe out to like 11 o'clock. And then,
Is he going to lose a probe?
I think he is. So now he's got to wait for his Nexus to finish before he can really do anything. And like you said, as soon as, if he doesn't have it already, he just needs to wait for Cloak, and then he guess he doesn't even have to do that. He could just go in just wave after wave after wave with these Wraiths because he's the one now who's got time on his side. And he's got the Manor CC.
That's great.
I freaking love it. Oh my gosh.
Here's the Wraiths, here's the Cloak, there's no observers, and these carriers, and the EMP,
just
and
for
these
good measure.
Carriers. GG.
There it is.
Great way of holding on by Mage.
Yeah.
That was a great play.
There was a new king just birthed before our very eyes.